Marston's Domain.
Hey everyone, Marson here, and today I want to talk about Mario Party, because I am someone that thinks that online multiplayer could do very well in Mario Party, but a lot of people disagree with me on that, so I wanted to make this video to kind of give my counter arguments to why I think this is actually a good idea. So, as everybody knows, Mario Party is one of the ultimate multiplayer games to pretty much ever exist. In terms of having just pure fun with your buddies, getting a little bit mad at each other, but just having pure fun and just enjoying a game together. It pretty much destroys all other board games on console because it's, well, got the Mario touch. It's just like Mario Kart. They kind of took a formula, made their own thing with it, and it took off, and it's very successful. However, it's been going downhill lately with some of the more recent titles. Now, I'm not going to just be negative about these recent titles, because I understand there's a few people out there that like them, and the one in particular that I'm starting to mention is that new 3DS Mario Party, the Top 100, because I personally think that game would have done better on the Switch, and I think that game would have done very well with online multiplayer. So this is where I'm going to start to get into this conversation. The new Mario Party coming out for the 3DS is primarily based on multiplayer. But in order to do that, you need to have friends that have a 3DS to begin with. Which, I don't know about you, but I don't have that many friends that own a 3DS. And even if I did, that would not be the first game I would choose to play with them. I would not want to get together and be in someone's house and be playing a 3DS. I would rather be playing a home console. But in order for everyone to play with each other, you would all have to be in the same spot, because this game does not have online multiplayer. Which is very interesting, because when you think about the 3DS in general, and just the DS altogether, from the original up till now, pretty much all the games that came out on it had more online features than their home consoles. I remember playing Metroid Prime Hunters online, I remember playing Animal Crossing online, I remember playing Mario Kart online. All these things happened before their console counterparts. I was able to play Animal Crossing online before you could on a home console, because the Wii one wasn't out yet. So for them to keep making Mario Party games with no online is really interesting to me, because it's a game that is completely based on multiplayer. If you don't have people to play with, Mario Party is essentially pointless. I mean, let's be real, the campaigns aren't that good, and on screen I have footage of the Game Boy Advance Mario Party, and I'm just kind of fooling around the minigames, but how many hours would I really do that? The fun in Mario Party is playing with other people. And when you look at today's market of games, every game has online. And if it doesn't, then it's a purely single-player-based game. Mario Party is absolutely not one of those single-player games. It's not. If you don't have anyone to play with, it's essentially pointless to own. Which again, some people would argue with me that that's not true, and that's fine. If you enjoy playing Mario Party by yourself, then that's awesome. Good for you. But I can say for myself, no way. I want to play Mario Party with people, which is why I haven't bought any of the recent Mario Parties, because I look at all the other companies and all the other games coming out, they all have online. I mean, even Monopoly, that's coming to the Switch, has online multiplayer. As far as I know. I looked on the details on the website, it says it has online multiplayer. Why can't Mario Party do that? So, the part of the argument that I'm going to get into now is that whenever people hear me say Mario Party should have online multiplayer, they always say, I don't think it would work because people would probably leave and disconnect if they were losing. That's a fair argument, but when you think about Nintendo and how they've been so weird with their online play to begin with, why can't we at least just play with our friends online? Even if they didn't let us play with random people, which I have a counter argument to the thing I said earlier, but I'll get to that in a second. Even if you couldn't play with random people, why can't you just play with your friends? I'm not understanding where that argument even stands anymore, because if you could just play with your friends, I doubt that they would disconnect. And even if they did, then it would just be something that you'd all kind of laugh at, since you're friends. I don't really understand how that's a problem. And to go back to the not being able to play with random people, because they might disconnect. Well, if they disconnect, why not just put a hard CPU in there? If it's you and a friend and two random people, and the two random people disconnect, just throw two hard CPUs in and just have them finish up the game. The game could just stay right where it's at, just throw in the CPUs instead, and there you go. That's not something foreign. Games do that all the time. People are known to rage quit games, and they just throw in a CPU. And that's one of the main arguments I always hear is that, oh, well, people probably disconnect. I don't see how that matters. You could still play the game. All they'd have to do is make them a CPU. And some people just think that the online wouldn't work, period. But I don't know if people have noticed, but people on Twitch have started to stream playing multiplayer Mario Party online with other people on their streams on Twitch. I've seen it. I don't know what they use to do it. I don't care because I'm not really into doing all those things. But you can visually see people playing online with other people in these old games. So if the N64 versions of these games can have some sort of thing done to it to where they can be played online, I'm sure that they'd be able to handle making a newer one actually have real online on it through Nintendo's servers. And then at the very least, I don't understand why we don't get leaderboards. Like, at least that DS game should have leaderboards. I mean, that would actually give you incentive to replay the minigames and try to get a higher score. You could compete with your friends, worldwide leaderboard. You could see how far you could go in a minigame, how many points you could get or whatever. I think that would add a lot of replay value. So I guess I'm just really confused as to why one of the most multiplayer-centric games that Nintendo has zero online, and it's never had online. Every single one that comes out, I assume, oh no, this one will have online, this one will have online, and it never does. And some people get mad at me that I care so much about it having online, but I'm in my 20s now. I'm not around my friends all the time. And when we are together, video games is kind of the last thing that we're thinking about. So with no online, and when we hang out, we don't really care to play video games to begin with. And if we're going to play something, we're probably going to play like Smash or something, so that way there's no lag at all. Where Mario Party, the lag wouldn't really be as much of a factor. I mean, it would still be a factor, but it's not as much as if it happens in Smash. So I'm just not understanding how people are so against the idea of Mario Party having online. And I don't get why people get so mad that I care so much about it having online. Because like I said, that would be the time that I would actually be able to play it. Because me and my friends don't really hang out to play video games. We hang out to go out and do other things. And that's preference, of course. Like someone else, maybe that's not what they do. Maybe they hang out and they do like to play video games. That's fine. But even still, wouldn't you rather have the option? Especially with this 3DS one. I don't know why people would rather just sit there and have 4 3DSs playing Mario Party with the idea of being able to do it on the Switch. And also being able to have like 2 people at one house and then play online with 2 other people. Like, that'd be awesome. So in case if someone couldn't actually get to someone else's house, you could still play with them. And if we're talking about video games in general, I mean, the community is growing so big. I'm sure that a lot of the people that are watching this right now have friends that they met online. And they probably play games online with them, and they actually don't even live near each other. So Mario Party would be an amazing game to play with a bunch of people, but Nintendo is just not letting us do that. And I think that it's a waste. I think it's a shame, and I really hope that they reconsider, and that next Mario Party game that's inevitably going to come to the Switch, I really hope that it's just the old formula with added online multiplayer. I think that game would sell amazingly, and I think it would prove to people that this game should have online. Plus, they're going to be having that paid online service, and they need to have a lot of multiplayer games to justify people paying for a yearly fee. So throw in Mario Party. I think tons of people would buy it. Tons of people would play it. And honestly, I think that game would kind of go up there with Mario Kart. Mario Kart is one of the most selling multiplayer games that Nintendo even has. And it's because it caters to both competitive and casual players. And I think Mario Party would do the same. So I think it's a missed opportunity that Mario Party hasn't had online. I hope that the one on the Switch that inevitably comes out does have online. But of course, that's just my opinion. I'd love to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below if you think that my ideas are just stupid, if you think online really would not work, or if you're someone that's like me that really is hoping for online in a Mario Party game. Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone.